In this episode, we're going to talk about whether or not you should detox and whether or not it helps. We're going to talk about how much protein you should be taking every day and what are the best sources of protein. And I'm going to talk about genetics and why it's not your destiny. This is the Ask Dr. Daniel DC Show. Okay, first question. Are detoxes necessary and do they help the body? First, there's a lot of junk out there, and by that I mean misinformation. If there's anything in need of detoxing, we really need to detox from detoxes themselves, because most of them are just crap, kind of like the stuff that we put into our body. Now, detoxing has become the umbrella term for a lot of different diets. Sometimes the word may be used positively, as in feeding your body a healthy diet of natural whole foods, while also eliminating a lot of other toxins and chemicals that are in our environment. And other times the word typically means drinking nothing but a fluid concoction of lemon juice, maple syrup, and cayenne pepper for days, which really is supposed to flush poisons from the body. But I don't put a lot of faith or confidence in the latter types of diets because there's just not enough justification or proof that it actually does it. I do believe that we all need to be detoxing at least every 3 to 4 months. But how you detox should really be the question here. So yes, detox is necessary for health, and yes, detoxing can help your body. But like I just said, how you choose to detox or the methods that you use are going to make all the difference. Experts now agree that up to 80% of diseases today are directly related to toxicity. Environmental factors including smoking, nutritional deficiencies, physical inactivity, and exposure to environmental carcinogens are estimated to be responsible for 75 to 80% of cancer diagnoses and deaths in the United States. The National Institutes of Health has classified 54 compounds as known human carcinogens based on studies indicating that they actually cause at least one type of cancer in people. And this is according to the nation's 11th report on carcinogens. The highest exposures occur in an occupational setting, but there are environmental exposures as well. For example, benzenes, which are known to cause human leukemia, and the common pollutants in vehicle exhaust. Radon, which is a natural radioactive gas found in many homes, raises the risk of lung cancer. Arsenic, which is linked to skin, liver, bladder, and lung cancer, contaminates public water, and we also know that it's found in a lot of fruit juices that we even give to our kids. Other known human carcinogens include asbestos, hexavalent chromium, aflatoxins, which are found in peanuts, and vinyl chloride found in PVC and other plastic products. But what about chemicals found in our food supply? For more than 50 years, many in the food industry have not had to disclose information to consumers and the Food and Drug Administration, or the FDA, about the safety of chemicals that they put in our food. Additive manufacturers have taken advantage of a dysfunctional system that allows for minimal to no disclosure and is plagued with conflicts of interest and provides weak oversight of something as vital to our health as our food supply. For consumers, it's bad enough that most of the ingredients listed on packaged foods have hard to pronounce names or words. We don't know how much or how many of these chemicals leach from the packaging in the food itself, and little is known about the safety of these chemicals because a small percentage are actually tested. But it gets worse. Chemicals can actually be added into our food supply without ever telling the FDA what they are or what their levels of, wait for it, toxicity or safety are. Now, most of us don't think of the food that we eat as poisonous, but some of the ingredients commonly found in processed foods can be considered highly toxic and very dangerous for our health. By toxic, I mean chemicals or highly processed ingredients that aren't good for you and can cause harm to your body in a number of ways. I'm talking about refined grains, trans fats, high fructose corn syrup, artificial sweeteners, artificial colors, preservatives, and all the other artificial junk that you can't even pronounce that you find on ingredient food lists. Any food that has been canned, dehydrated, or has chemicals added to it is considered processed and therefore highly toxic for your body. And these foods make up about 60% of the average US diet. So what happens when you decrease toxicity in your body and if you eliminate toxins? If you eliminate toxins and eat healthy foods, there's only one thing that's going to happen. Your body will begin to transform. Next question comes from Robert. And Robert asks, What is the best source of protein and how much should I be taking every day? Now, Robert, protein is an essential nutrient used in almost every cell of our bodies. Protein makes up the structure of the cells, organs, and muscles and are known as the building blocks of the body, used to make hormones, coenzymes, blood cells, and even our DNA. These 20 different amino acids are each unique and perform a very specific purpose in the body. Out of the 20 amino acids, the body can only produce 14 on its own. Every single day, we break cells down and then we build those cells back up. So the secret to health and longevity is to build up cells faster than you're actually breaking them down. And protein is your primary building block. That's why it is important to eat an adequate amount of protein every day and to replace what the body uses up. I personally have a suspicion that the majority of the population in the United States has a mild to moderate protein deficiency, which causes slowed metabolism, weak muscles, thinning muscles, and even contributes to diseases such as diabetes and cancer. The benefits of consuming plenty of high-protein foods include improved muscle tone, balanced blood sugar, healthy immune function, improved wound healing, and steady energy levels. As for the best sources of protein, here are my top 5. Number 1 on the list is going to be grass-fed beef because it contains more protein and less calories per gram than conventional beef or cows that are fed grain. Free-range, hormone-free chicken would be second on the list. Number 3 is wild fish. Number 4 is free-range eggs. And number 5 is raw milk or kefir. Now, following food, my recommendations for protein supplementation would be whey protein concentrate. I would avoid protein isolates or protein hydroisolate as these are highly processed, they're more expensive, and your body's just not going to use the protein as well as whey protein concentrate. How much protein should you be consuming every day? Well, that really depends on your current activity levels and basically your goals. Now, if you live a sedentary life, meaning you do not exercise daily, then I'd recommend at least 0.5 to 0.75 grams of protein per pound of body weight. So basically you just take your body weight and you multiply it by 0.5 or 0.75 to get the total amount of grams of protein needed daily. If you do exercise daily, then I would take 0.75 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. If you are female, interested in toning up and losing weight, then I would take 1 to 1.25 grams per pound of body weight. And if you're a male interested in toning up, I'd take 1.5 to 2 grams of protein per pound. Last question comes from Eric. Both sets of grandparents died from heart disease or cancer. Does that mean that I will get it? Eric, that is a no. And I say this confidently because DNA is not your destiny, and the new science of epigenetics teaches us that we have more control over our health and our future than previously thought. In fact, it's estimated that less than 2% of health conditions today is due to genetics, meaning 98% of disease today is lifestyle and choice. Discoveries in epigenetics are rewriting the rules of disease, heredity, and identity. Our DNA, specifically the 25,000 genes identified by the Human Genome Project, is now widely regarded as the instruction book for the human body. But genes themselves need instructions for what to do as well, and where and when to do it. And those instructions are not found in the letters of the DNA itself, but on it, in an array of chemical markers and switches now known collectively as the epigenome, that lie along the length of the double helix. Now these epigenetic switches and markers in turn help switch on or off the expression of particular genes. Think of the epigenome as a complex software code capable of inducing the DNA hardware to manufacture an impressive variety of proteins, cell types, and individuals. While genetic inheritance and the diet and lifestyle of past generations do have an influence on how our genes are expressed, we are not held captive by these predispositions. Epigenetics research proves, in most cases, that we have the ability to control gene expression. Scientists today now recognize that we can change, literally change, our DNA. Therefore, most of the time, we have the ability to control the expression of disease and/or health. It also proves that there is no simple connection between a simple gene or a single gene and a resulting disease. While genes can predispose one to a certain illness, there is no cancer gene that with 100% certainty is going to cause that particular cancer. Disease is the result of a more complex set of interactions between genes and the epigenome, or the choices that we make every single day in our life. Many individuals, however, still act under the old paradigm, not realizing that their diet and their lifestyle habits could be initiating epigenetic changes that will determine not only their future, but also the predisposition of their children, their grandchildren, and even their great-grandchildren. Health truly is in your hands, so please go out and take it. Okay, that does it for episode number 10. I hope you all found the information useful. Once again, if you have questions, you can submit your questions on Twitter. Use the hashtag AskDrDanielDC. You can also follow me on Instagram at DrDanielDC. I'm on Facebook. Look me up /DrDanielDC. And finally, you can submit your questions via email. Just use in the subject line hashtag AskDrDanielDC, and that email is info@DrDanielDC. I hope you all found the information useful. I hope you have a great week. See you at the next episode.